Hello students. In this video I'm going to talk about the end behavior of a rational function. And this is something that I didn't cover in the other rational function video. But there were these statements here in the notes, and so I want to explain what these mean. So we have the graph of a rational function. This is f of x equals 2x squared minus 2 divided by x squared minus 9. And what these two statements down here are telling us to do is they're asking us what's happening when the function gets really big and what's happening when the function gets really small. So the first statement is saying as x goes to infinity, so we know that x is going to infinity when we look along the right-hand side of the graph. So as we move along the right-hand side of the graph, what's happening to the value of the function? In other words, what is the graph doing as we move right? And what we can see here is that there is a horizontal asymptote at y equals 2. That's at 2 right there. We can say y equals 2. So it looks like that as we're on the right-hand side of the graph, as we keep going farther and farther to the right, that curve is getting close to the imaginary line y equals 2. So what we'd say is as x goes to infinity, f of x goes to positive 2. And then when we go left here, which is the same thing as saying as x goes to negative infinity, the same thing is happening. That graph is getting really close to the value y equals 2. All right, let's look at the next one. Here again, we have a function f of x equals x plus 2 divided by x squared minus 4. We want to know what's happening as we go right along the x-axis, and then what happens as we go left. So as x goes to infinity, what's happening to the value of the function? Well, here we have an imaginary asymptote. I guess it's an imaginary line. The asymptote is real, but we don't see it on the graph. But that asymptote is at y equals 0. So similar to the last one, that blue curve on the right-hand side of the graph, it's getting closer and closer to the line y equals 0. So we'd say as x goes to infinity, f of x goes to 0. And then the same thing is happening when we go left, or as we go to negative infinity, the value of the function is also going to 0. Okay, and then this last one, this one's slightly different because there is a slant asymptote here. And we also have a vertical asymptote, but let's talk about that in a second. So we have a slant asymptote, which means we don't also have a horizontal asymptote. Remember, a rational function can never have both a slant asymptote and a horizontal asymptote. So this one's a little bit different than the previous two examples because as we're going to the right, as x goes to positive infinity, the value of the function keeps increasing. It keeps going up. So what that means is the value of the function is also increasing to positive infinity. Similarly, as the function goes to the left, or as x goes to negative infinity, I shouldn't say as the function goes left, as we move left along the x-axis or as x goes to negative infinity, the value of the function is continuing to decrease. So we'd say the value of the function is going to negative infinity. Now, in the notes, there were two other statements here. One said as, let me look, it said as x goes to 1, and then it has a little plus. F of x goes to what? And then similarly, as x goes to 1, but then it has a little negative, f of x goes to what? So these two statements, we could have asked these statements on the previous two examples, but let's just look at it on this one. So what this is saying, this first one is saying, as x goes to 1 from the positive side or from the right-hand side. So x is equal to 1. That so happens to be the vertical asymptote. Okay, so as the x value goes close to 1 from the right, that's what the 1 plus means. So as we get close to 1 coming from the right-hand side, what's happening to the function? And actually, I should probably write this down below here because the function is getting close to 1 from the right-hand side down here, right? That green curve, this green curve, let me highlight it. As we come from the right-hand side of that graph, it's getting closer and closer to that positive 1. So where is the value of the function going? Well, that function is decreasing. It's going down as it gets close to 1 from the right-hand side. So what we'd say is the value of the function is going to negative infinity as we get close to 1 from the positive side or from the right-hand side. This last blank is saying, well, what's happening as we go to 1 from the left-hand side, or the one with the little negative? Well, as we approach 1 from the left-hand side, that graph is going up, 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 up. It's going to positive infinity. So we'd say here is as x goes to 1 from the negative side or from the left, f of x goes to positive infinity.